Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting chapter of the South-Dade Chamber of Commerce Shout Out. Tonight, or actually it's still morning, we have a couple of tremendous and hilarious guests as well as fun with us. We have Breezy Leza from the Exit One Taproom, and we have, is it Angel or Angel?
It's Angel.
Angel
It's Angel.
Rojas from Red Angel Drones. So we're going to start with Angel today, but first of all, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on the show today. Really excited to be here.
Thank you. I mean, it's our pleasure to have you. So you own Red Angel Drones. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So essentially, what Red Angel Drones offers, or is a service, right, for the local community, for those businesses in Cutler Bay, Homestead, General South-Dade, to take advantage of the opportunities and exciting features that drone technology has to offer them.
Okay. So, um, Somerset Academy. I remember you teach and do some things with the kids over there.
Yes. So during the day, my day job, right? I work at an awesome high school on 248th Street. You may have seen it, Somerset Academy Charter High School. I am currently the robotics teacher there, as I have been for the past year, and I hope to grow the robotics program and the robotics club there for future graduating classes.
Okay.
So by night, that's when I fully pay attention to the Red Angel drone business, and I'm able to further grow that business.
Okay. So what kind of stuff do you do with a drone? I mean, who would use a drone service?
Well, honestly, anybody, anybody can use a drone service. It depends on what you want to do with the drones, right? So most of the time, the trend that we see nowadays is a fancy camera on a drone. So people want the best clarity pictures from a really high altitude because it looks marvelous. It does.
Yeah.
But it
Okay.
spans from personal hobby use to education to actual business tools and trades.
Okay. I actually am a hobbyist. I try to play with it. I'm not licensed, but we're going to talk about licensure here shortly. But so if I was a realtor, or someone that was trying to sell a product, what would a drone do for me?
Okay, specifically for realtors, they have the advantage of showing off the property from a very good vantage point, which not only offers the buyer or the investor the good shot of the property, but also of the surrounding landscape and of the neighborhood in general, which is a great advantage for someone who's trying to either move in or sell a home or a property.
So you can actually get basically a bird's eye view, something that's someone with a normal camera wouldn't be
No,
able to do.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. The second best thing would be to tie a camera to a balloon, but you probably won't get a good stable photo.
That's actually pretty funny. So I play around with the drone. I have a system that it's the DJI. In fact, I have it here
Yes, you do
somewhere.
actually, right here. This fantastic piece of equipment right here.
So can you tell us a little bit about
Absolutely.
what's there?
So what you have here is your typical prosumer model, right? Professional consumer, meaning that this is much more than a toy than many of the public has been led to believe. They're sold as just ready to go out of the box, and that comes with a lot of technology that many people aren't just aware of. For example, here you have this battery management system here that's attached to the actual power source, which is basically a computer chip on top of the battery. And what that does is acts as a safeguard to make sure your batteries don't leak voltages or they don't overcharge or they don't become faulty. The alternative is this type of battery here, which is what the hobbyists normally use. And these type of batteries here, Les and Breezy, you can see that it's just raw materials. It looks like this was actually a great battery from Race Day Quads here, right? But this one is just two cables. Oh, sorry, two cables soldered to the battery pack here, wrapped with some plastic. It has no configuration of voltage, no safety features, as opposed to the ones that you buy from the store, like Best Buy or something. Secondly, the payload, right, or the camera. The camera is exactly what everybody wants. Everybody wants the really high megapixel, high sensor camera that captures all the colors and all the beauty of the landscape that you're trying to capture with your camera. And all of that comes with this remote controller here, right? I'm not selling the product, right? But
Yeah, no.
it just shows you how simple it is. All you have to do is download the app on your phone, install it here, and it basically flies itself. And that's a big advantage as opposed to something like this, which is a hobby grade drone that you actually have to attach a GoPro or some type of other stabilized camera to this here. So that would be the major differences here between something out of the box that costs something well over $1,000 to something that costs over just a couple hundred.
So, do I need a license? What's the rule about licenses for finding these?
That is a great question, Liz. I'm actually glad you brought that up because the licensing, it's a big misconception with that. Whenever you're taking photos, okay, now I believe I can say, I can quote this, right? The law states that whenever you are flying, it is the intent of the flight, right, that you are performing, and that will determine whether or not you need a license or not. And depends on where you're flying it to. Also depends whether you need a license or not. So in general, in Cutler Bay and in Homestead and in South-Dade, we live next to the Homestead Air Reserve Base, and that is Class D restricted airspace. So technically speaking, you need authorization to fly anything in that airspace right there, including something as small as this, right? So it's kind of just a process to go through, but it's really easy and really accessible for the public. But without the education, not many people know about it. You do need a license, though, if you're going to take pictures of homes, to sell the homes, for posting on your website that will be sold to other investors or to use for any commercial purposes. Commercial purposes doesn't necessarily mean money. It just means commercial. Further your business, further your organization, promote your organization or something like that. So that's the really big thing there that many realtors or many just hobbyists or many citizens just don't really understand. And so with the upcoming trend and technology of drones, it's really important as they become faster, stronger, more autonomous, we have to be responsible and when using this technology.
Okay. And I tell you, I completely understand that. This drone with that battery system, it'll actually tell me on the controller where the battery is and how high it is or how low it is. What's also very exciting is if I'm not paying attention to that because I'm having too much fun flying it, it'll actually tell me that it's coming home. And when the battery gets to a certain point, the drone will come home.
Right.
You know, and it's really good because sometimes you're having just a lot of fun. I actually live close enough to the Harb Homestead Air Reserve Base that if I get close to the flight path or in the restricted zone, the drone, because it has GPS, will send a signal to the controller, and it'll actually say to me, "I'm entering restricted airspace."
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
so that helps me from or keeps me from getting into trouble. Lord knows I get into enough trouble by myself. I don't need anyone else to help me, you know. But so what do you teach? So if I wanted to get a license, do you help me with that? Do you help with flight and everything?
Sure. Yes. I'm still developing a package course, right? But I will absolutely assist you by providing you free online resources to help you guide you to your license, right? So that you can get your Part 107, which is a license needed to fly unmanned aircraft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably going to have to work some trade out. As everyone knows, I'm a professional diver, and sometimes these things fly over water, and if they happen to fail, well,
all the time.
So have you ever had that happen?
Well, yes, actually, I've had two instances in all of my flying career. Right, lately, the most recent one was I was running some tests on the new model that I just received from DJI, the FPV model. And I was testing a motor on-off feature over the water, you know, and that was my big mistake, testing it over water instead of over the grass. The motor's turned off, and it just took a plunge right into the Black Creek Canal. And it's just sitting there, hanging out, probably ruined, but hopefully it is still salvageable. Something of it has to be salvageable.
Well, we'll help you with that. We'll go and go to the canal and find it. One of the things I know, so this one has fixed propellers. I was on a boat with someone that it had the foldable, collapsible propellers.
Yes,
and he actually launched it while the boat was moving, and the propellers collapsed, and it dropped immediately. We were offshore, so salt water, it was toast.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing with these drones. Even though the technology has come a long way, there is still a limitation that many of us or many new enthusiasts and hobbyists don't really grasp yet. Technology is upcoming, but it's not completely there to where you can just throw it out of your pocket and it just starts recording at the moment. Not yet. It will be soon, but not yet. So there are some things you have to be aware of when you're flying these things, such as magnetic interferences, such as metals nearby that can disrupt the compass and stuff like that.
Right. And then you have to essentially have the fear of losing it, which
Oh yeah.
when I fly mine, I'm terrified of losing it. So I have come along in baby steps, just basically figuring out, okay, I know how to do this now. I know how to do that. And when I fly over water, it's usually very quickly.
Absolutely.
Even though I'm a diver and I know I can go get it, I have a couple of $1,000s tied up in that. And, and they sell insurance for them, which I think is humorous. They actually sell a float pad. So if it drops down in the water, it won't sink. Okay. But it'll still be ruined. But the reason that not sinking is important,
yes,
the insurance company wants the drone back before they're going to pay you for it.
Absolutely.
So I decided I was not going to get one of those floating things because I was not going to crash my drone in the water.
No, absolutely.
So, but it's still so much fun. So, I was talking earlier and we talked about chemistry and the other things that you've done school-wise and education-wise. How is chemistry important when doing something like this?
Well, chemistry, right? The general study of matter, right? That really opened my eyes up to see how you can capture the data that you want with the sensors and the equipment that you want. So most of the time, our cameras are suited to capture all bands of light, all colors, right? Such as this wonderful backdrop here. But sometimes, depending on your study, depending on what you're looking for, you want a different type of camera or sensor, such as a thermal camera, right? A thermal camera would be used to detect different temperatures that you wouldn't be able to see with a regular camera, and that would tell you more information as far as where, specifically, for example, solar panels, right? Solar panels, when used with a thermal camera, you can actually know where the heat distribution is within your solar panel array, so you can optimize the energy capture and reduce costs and so on and so forth, stuff like that you wouldn't be able to see with a regular camera.
Very, very cool. So you can actually use the drone to fly up and capture that information.
Absolutely.
And useful. Excellent. Well, I really do appreciate all of your insight and background in this. And folks, it's not just flying and it's fun, but they're actual useful tools. I know more and more when you look online, you'll see realtors use them that give you an incredible perspective as far as the house and as Angel said, the neighborhood and things like that. So they're just absolutely wonderful. Give him a call, give him a shout. If you want to use his service, I'm sure you'll be glad you did because it's great stuff. I'm going to take a second to do a couple of announcements and PSAs. First of all, last week we had Lynn Anguiaras from, I always stumble over her name, from Miami-Dade College. One of the things that we didn't talk about when she was here was the internship program. An incredible program that allows students to go out and work in businesses around the neighborhood, around the county. What's really, really cool about that, if you think about it, if you're a business owner, and you have this student, who's working his way through school, but you get a chance if you have a position to basically try before you buy. You get a really good look at what the students are doing and how they're doing, but you actually get work done, which is tremendous. For me, actually at the South-Dade Chamber of Commerce, we actually hired our last intern, and incidentally, he has worked himself up to the point where he is now our chief of staff. So, hold on just a second. It's not that you're going to get every student that comes from Miami-Dade College that's ready to be a chief of staff, but this particular gentleman had 2 combat tours, 20 years in the Army. So a little bit more settled in the ways, but again, for best vet, hire the vet. Now, let's think about that for a second, okay? Because there are so many hard-charging youngsters that are in South-Dade. There's a young lady that I know that pops in my mind immediately. Um, her name is Natalie Leza. And before I do that, I forgot to put up Lynn's email address. If you have questions or want more information on this internship program at Miami-Dade College, reach out to Lynn. Her email address is on the screen, and we'll leave it up there for a couple of seconds while I talk about Natalie. Okay, this young lady, wow. Okay, up early in the morning. This is actually someone that I would hire for anything that I had to do. The reason I cannot hire her because she is so driven. She has started her own business. Yes, Natalie's Beauty Bar. So here's the thing. Where did this drive come from? Okay, how did such a young person get so much motivation? Well, for me, for the things that I see was she has a great mentor. Uh, Incidentally, her mentor is her mother, and I have her mother here today. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. And thank you
Okay.
for your kind words.
This is Breezy. Breezy is the owner of Exit One Taproom, which is in Florida City. She's a former teacher and actually worked her way up to be an assistant principal. It's just it's such an honor to have you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's been a long journey. I was a kid growing up in Hialeah, not a lot going for me. First generation immigration family from Cuba. First to graduate college. I have 3 college degrees, and I've been blessed with a beautiful family, married 26 years. I have 2 beautiful children, a Natalie that has her own business, my son, Audi, that works with me. I'm also a general contractor. So we're a hardworking family, and we're very proud of our children for following our footsteps. And now we're so blessed to be part of Florida City and the South-Dade Chamber as the owner of Exit One Taproom. So we're happy to be here.
Exit One Taproom. So, one of my favorite places. It is in Florida City. Live very close there. I spend probably too much time there. But tell us about that, Breezy, please.
So Exit One is very unique. We are the southernmost craft beer tap room in the continental U.S. So we offer something very different to our community. We only serve craft beer. We are hyper local. We serve all of the breweries in South Florida and Florida. And then we do venture out into the rest of the country as well with a lot of specialty beers and collaborations. We're very happy to have launched our first beer with Unbranded Brewery, which is in Hialeah, and we thank them for their support, which is Un Lager. It's a light lager, fantastic. You can ask Mr. Burke here. He's a fan. And we're moving towards our 3rd year anniversary this September, and we're going to launch a second beer. So we're looking for suggestions if anybody's interested in giving us their thoughts. So we're happy to have surpassed COVID. Thanks to our mayor and Florida City and our very, very loyal customers. We made it past that tough time for all of us. And now we're back full throttle. So having fun, lots of events. Follow us on Instagram and you'll see what's upcoming. So
very cool, very cool. What you didn't mention was the food trucks. She has great food trucks there. Every day there's a different theme. There's the lobster truck there, which is nationally renowned.
Yes.
How do you get so many food trucks to come to the Taproom?
So I am a big proponent on collaborations, and I think teamwork makes the dream work in all aspects. So we work with a gentleman that he runs a network of food trucks, and these are all local mom and pop kind of chefs that have decided to take this leap. And what we do is we offer them a space at Exit One. We don't earn any money from their being present with us, but they do serve excellent food. And every day that we're open, a new truck is there. And this week we have sushi on Wednesday. So that's a whole new thing. Florida City does not have sushi. South-Dade has very limited resources in that area. So we're excited to have them as well. And it's gonna be a cool ride. And I think everybody likes the variety.
It's so exciting that little area that the tap room is in. It's kind of like a little strip mall. When you go there at any time from Thursday through Sunday, for sure, it's almost like a carnival. There are things set up. There are tables. You can bring your dogs. You can bring their babies. Yeah, you can bring your babies.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is actually and truly a family atmosphere. There are games to play. There are all kinds of things that you can do. A couple of weeks ago, there was a oh, what do you call that game with the
Oh, foosball.
foosball,
That
but
sounds
with
fun.
real people.
Human
I mean, there were
foosball.
real people in this thing. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
That sounds real
But
fun.
that's the kind of fun and the kind of thing that you see at Exit Room Tap Room, Exit One Tap Room. So you mentioned your family, and to me, it's about family. We talk about family here all the time. I've mentioned Natalie. You have another child, a son. What's he up to?
So my son is an adrenaline seeker. He's very well rounded. He is my foreman for my general contracting company. So he runs the majority of our projects. But he has a plethora of skills. He's a spear fisherman. He is an amateur, semi-pro, stand-up jet ski racer. And he's been very successful at all of these new skills that he's developed. He's 26 years old, but he is 100 in experience.
So I wanted to squeeze him in because he is a male, but you mentioned that you have a contracting company. So now we have this mom who has a contracting company, sister who has her own business, a beauty bar, in that location there on Chrome Avenue. Every business in that strip mall is owned by a woman.
Yes.
Okay, that's just so exciting to me. Can you tell me how that happened?
So when we came to Florida City, we were the first ones to actually establish ourselves in that plaza, which is Shiver Properties. And Shiver Glass is there, has been there for many, many years. With the exception of Mr. Shiver, all of us there are woman owned. We came in first with Exit One, and then shortly thereafter, Bolt CrossFit Training came in with Samantha and Mercy. And then my daughter, Natalie Leza's beauty bar came in, and then Smokes Up, which is owned by Danielle and run by her as well. And then lastly, we have Squirt and Ink, which is owned by Sam with 2 M's. So we're all girls. We sit, we have these block meetings, and we kind of talk about what's coming up. We coordinate. We have a lot of things coming up that really integrate all of us. We have another art walk coming in where all the businesses are involved. We are going to have this it's like an MMA jiu-jitsu kind of tournament where the gym will be involved as well, and the whole parking will be kind of like an obstacle course where they go through different stations, and all of this is community driven. It's open to the community, it's free to the community, and our goal is to kind of incorporate all of these different attributes that we have down south that really go unnoticed. And it's really a pleasure to work with these ladies. They're very well educated, very driven. I mean, most of them are there first thing in the morning, leave late at night, and it's really very refreshing.
And in listening to you, you talk about the things that are driven and what the center point is. But for me, from my observation, it's actually you. I hear about the mentoring that you do. I know that you have offered to mentor through the chamber, which we're putting that program together. How important is it to have someone that mentors new businesses coming in?
It's critical. Coming into Exit One, this was very new to me. I was not in the beer industry. I was a consumer, very good consumer, as a matter of fact. But
I'm a consumer too.
Fantastic, top ranking. So going through the system in Miami-Dade County was very cumbersome because there isn't a lot of information available, and then people are also not available to guide you. People that have already had the experience. So we struggled. It took us 10 months to open Exit One from start to finish, which is fast in comparison to other businesses. But we had a lot of struggles because we were not lucky enough to have someone to say, okay, this is step one. Be ready with this. Step two, you need to have all of these documents. Or look, these are the offices you need to visit. These are the licenses you need. So it was so hard and frustrating. And there were days where I would put my head down and say, I don't know if we're going to get this done. But luckily we have a very good family support system, and we all pushed each other really hard and we got through it. But I want to be able to smooth that path for others, because it's not necessary. We don't have to struggle as much. The information is there. It needs to be public. It needs to be available and accessible to everyone, not just people that are in the know. Not because you know someone in that office, you're going to get an easier road. It should be easy or accessible to all of us, especially women, especially low income areas. Because that's the only way we're really going to get our smaller cities up to par with these really wealthy cities. Florida City could be Doral, Florida City could be Miami-Dade County, but we struggle because we don't have access to a lot of this information. And I want to help.
And I really do appreciate that. And access is a big word. And it's few letters, but having access is almost like having anything. It allows you to get in, it allows you to move, it allows you to continue. And having mentors like you, whether it's for women-owned or minority-owned businesses or just businesses in general. And there are so many businesses, when folks come to the chamber, our business is their business. And we want them to succeed. And so having this mentoring type program is something that we're actually putting together so that it'll actually work. You know, the same thing with Angel and promoting his business so that more and more people understand how useful drones are for actual work. And I'll tell you, folks, when my grandkids come over, they will actually get up from the television and playing video games to fly a drone.
That's right.
All right. And so to me, that's exciting to have children back outside. I know when I was growing up, I was always outside. And so that's my push. I really want to thank both of you guys for being here today. This is really exciting to me. I have a couple more commercials that I need to do real quick. First of all, on Thursday, we have the young professionals. They're doing a investment program. It's going to be at H. Craig, which is up north a little bit, Cutler Bay. That's this Thursday. And if many of you remember, we had a poker run that was scheduled for last weekend. The weather being what it was, 70-80% chance of rain. Safety-wise, we wanted to more or less make sure that everyone who left arrived. So we moved it. We moved the poker run to the 18th of September. It will still start at Peterson's Harley-Davidson up in Cutler Bay. And then all of the locations and everything will be on the map that you can receive when you register or on site when you start. Actually, it's still when you register. What's really, really important and exciting about the 18th of September, in addition to being our poker run, it is also the 3rd anniversary of Exit 1. So there'll be new craft beers that will be there. Again, a carnival type environment, which you'll find every weekend when you go there. Let's see. What else do we have? Clean Streak. Okay. Big shout out to Clean Streak. Clean Streak is a new member of the chamber. It is a new business that's coming into Cutler Bay. It is a car wash. You can go online. You can Google them. They're not quite open yet. But they're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony within the next 2 weeks. Stay tuned into what we're doing, and we'll let you know as that comes along. Next week, we will have Drake, who is the vice president of Peterson Harley-Davidson. Drake actually runs Harley-Davidson South, which is in Cutler Bay, but we're going to talk about their entire program that they have in Dade County. Drake is a very, very exciting young man. The things that he's done, obviously, if you come from the Peterson family, that's just the way you're going to grow up. He's another one of those young, up-and-coming hard chargers like Natalie that you just have to sit back and say, wow, okay, all is not lost. We do have a bright future ahead of us. So we look to see you here next week. Again, Peterson Harley-Davidson. Thank you, Breezy, so much for being here. Thank you, Angel, so much for being here. And thank you, Howard, so much for taking care of us. You guys have a good week. We'll see you next Tuesday.